All right, hello everyone. Welcome to the live stream on a Friday night, the last one of 2022, which is kind of crazy to say. It's been a long year, but it's been a great year. So with that said, we have a great guest tonight. I'm very excited about it. We're bringing in Michael Klein, a becoming ARCA driver. So we'll have him on in a few minutes. If you have any questions for him, make sure to leave them in the comments. Also, as a heads up, Wi-Fi. That might be a little bit of an issue tonight, but no need to fret. We'll have the chats open. We'll talk through chat. If we need to, we got Twitter, Facebook. We have all of those. So wherever you're watching from, YouTube, Facebook, welcome in. Hopefully you had a happy holidays for whatever holiday you have celebrated the past few days or the past month. And also hopefully you have a happy new year as well. But yeah, make sure, like I said, leave those comments in the chat if you have questions. After we talk to Michael, we might do a tier list if things work out properly with the internet, just to close out 2022. You know, we love tier list on this channel, so we will probably get to do that when it's all said and done. But yeah, I guess holidays too. Also interested to hear what you all got for the holidays. I'm probably going to ask Michael that as well. Just I love to see if people got any like NASCAR hauls or any interesting merch this year. I did just post a first part to the merchandise video, I believe yesterday, probably, or the day, I think it was yesterday. My days are blurring together. But that was the first part of my NASCAR collection. I won't be showing completely all of it to you all, but the second part will come out next week, middle of next week. So you all can kind of see what I've been collecting over the past few years. Some interesting things in there. Some of you also pointed out some great things in that video. And I've also had you all hashtag me or tag me on social media with your collections, which has been awesome. Somebody actually tagged me in a really sweet Terry Labonte collection of diecast that I would just fell in love with. So thanks for sharing those. Continue to do that. The rest of the ATYL crew, FYI, they are off tonight. Some are battling illness. So to those that are battling illness in the crew, we wish you well. Hopefully you all feel better. And then some of them are working, which is crazy. And also some are just celebrating the holidays with their families. So to the ATYL crew, I love you all. Happy holidays, you guys. But tonight we'll be hanging out with me and with Michael. So let's bring Michael in and we'll start chatting with him. Michael, how are you?
Doing good. How about you?
Oh, I'm doing fine. Friday night, so we're living it up.
Yeah.
So, Michael, for those who don't know you, if you had to like sum up who you are in like a paragraph, what would you tell people to like pitch to them? I am Michael.
Yeah. So obviously I'm Michael Klein. I'm a race car driver, obviously because I'm on a bunch of racing podcasts. But yeah, so I usually race midgets. That's kind of been my expertise over the past few years. And the past year or so, we started racing stock cars more. That kind of started with running Brayton Laster's late model. And I've also been working on trying to get involved in ARCA. We had hoped to run IRP this past year. Unfortunately, funding just never really came together. So we're trying again for next year. I'm not giving up on that. But yeah, it's been a pretty crazy ride so far, especially this past year, because I kind of went from not racing barely at all the past couple of years to kind of having a full season this year, and it all kind of came together last minute. So, that was definitely kind of something that wasn't expected, but obviously very happy for it.
And you did. I was looking on your YouTube page, and you had a lot of firsts this year. Talk to me about what was it? Your first time in a late model car this year, and first time on a road course with a go-kart.
Oh yeah. So that was really fun. Just I'll just go into the go-kart one first because that was probably the newest experience to me this year so far. Over the past year or so, I've really taken a liking to sports car racing a lot more than I had in previous years. I went to the IMSA race at Ohio last year, and I really loved that. I mean, I just fell in love with the whole sport car atmosphere, and I just kind of started thinking, I think this is kind of something I want to try. I've really only have a history as an oval racer. I kind of want to try doing the road course racing. And a guy who I used to race oval karts with also had a road course kart, and so I reached out to him. We got something together, and I ran Newcastle earlier this year. definitely a bit of a learning curve for me. I definitely made quite a few rookie mistakes in that. So it's just something we can kind of build on for next year, and definitely see how many more of those we can get in. And I guess going back to the late model, that's kind of something I've been wanting to do for years at this point. And obviously, if you're going to get, should probably have some experience in one of those. So my owner of the club actually had a model that he kind of puts in for tests. So I ended up doing that at the end of this year at Grundy County, which is nice because that's the track that we race midget for the most part. And so it's a play I kind of had experience with. And I was actually surprised at how well it seemed to translate over from a midget to a stock car. And it was overall just a really good time. Unfortunately, my experience kind of caught up with me at the end there and ended up spinning it out and backing it into the wall. Yeah, I was kind of embarrassed about that. Club was actually cool about it, though. The nice thing is that we didn't do a whole lot of damage. I think the only thing we broke was, I don't even remember what it was. It was part of the bumper. So, he said he wants to be back before the season starts. So, I guess that's
positive.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
talk to me about working with
a couple more.
Yeah, no, that would be awesome. And working with Alex, what has that been like, just as a mentor, even just maybe like as a friend, having him help you work your way up through the ranks, getting to ARCA? What has that been like for you?
Alex is he's probably one of the most honest businessmen you're going to find in the ARCA garage. Because I'm not going to name names, but there's quite a few people out there who will go out and take advantage of you. If you're just a racer who are trying to get your name out there. But Club, he always tries to make sure that the people who are in his cars are getting their money's worth, which he understands that obviously it's a back marker equipment. So he always tries to stay realistic with his drivers. And the nice thing is that nothing happens that's out of the driver's control or is on him. He'll actually try to make it up to something that not a lot of them will do. Like our driver at Mid-Ohio had problems, and unfortunately, it basically took him out of the race on lap one, and Alex actually brought him back for Watkins Glen, which, a lot of teams seem to have the mentality that, something happened, lap one, tough luck, come back another time when you have more money. But he was very fair about it and, understood that something out of his control and made it up to him. And having him as a mentor for because this is a guy who's been around the sport since 2015, I believe. So just having that knowledge is definitely a great plus when working with him. And he's only been in ARCA for, since 2015, I think, but his family is also has a history of racing. Like, I know his dad raced. In fact, actually, that late model that we ran at Grundy is an old 1997 chassis his dad used to race. So
oh, wow.
It's probably one of the oldest still running late models in the country.
Wow. That's actually really cool, though, honestly. Like, were you nervous running that?
Definitely was a little bit at first, but once I kind of got into it, got to my group, I definitely started to build a lot more confidence. And I think now, just knowing I've done it, I know I can do it okay. And now that I know what to do not to hit the wall when I spin out, I feel a lot better kind of going back and doing that again.
And then, so I guess I should back up a little bit because you don't come from a racing family. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's true. At least not from, the aspect that you hear several other drivers saying they do. My family have always kind of been fans of the sport, but they were never like involved in it. Save for my uncle who raced go-karts for a couple of years. But yeah, my dad is a huge drag racing fan, which I personally, I never got that into it. I was definitely more of a NASCAR kind of guy. I would say it probably just started with me watching a NASCAR race when I was young and falling in love with it. I can't really say exactly when that started because I've just loved it for as long as I can remember. I do know my mom said that her father used to take her to Langley Speedway all the time. So I guess there is kind of that. So I would probably have to say mom maybe had something more to do with it than my dad did. But I know my dad was also kind of a fan. So like I said, I just can't really pinpoint exactly what got me into it because it's just been so long.
Was there a car that you watched when you were younger that you just had your eyes glued to, or was it a driver that kind of inspired you to kind of follow this career path?
Um, I would say probably the driver that stuck out to me growing up, of course, would have been Jeff Gordon, because as a kid, you see that rainbow car running around. Of course, that's going to draw you. So I would probably say that's a car and driver that probably had the biggest impact on me growing up. And that's weird because I'm a Junior fan later on.
Okay.
Yeah, obviously, I think people. I know a lot of people like to put, but they're both drivers, and really don't see any reason why you can't one enough.
Yeah, I guess that's my thing with the Junior and and Gordon thing is, when I was becoming a fan, I know a lot of people kind of were like pinning them against each other, and I never got it because I mean, I love Junior. I will say I love Junior a lot. And then I learned to love Gordon. I think I love Dale Earnhardt so much that I was like, ooh, I'm more of a Dale Earnhardt fan than I would be a Gordon fan, Dale Earnhardt Sr. But yeah, no, I get that for sure. And then going back to the kart racing, it's something that I'm a little bit newer to. So can you explain to me what series you were racing in? And I think you had a lot of, looking at your stats, you had a lot of success this year in that series, correct?
In the karts, I actually in the car I only ran one race this year. Going back, are you talking about like for my whole karting career, or
Yes.
just that one season I did? Okay.
Let's look at the karting career. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a bit of success. Okay, yeah, I had a bit of success in that. I got 3 wins, which usually isn't something to really, cheer about. It's not something you see a lot of racers. I hear of a lot of racers who scored like hundreds of wins in karting, and so in comparison to that, my 3 just seems kind of pathetic. But when you consider the fact that I started when I was 15, the fact that I pretty much never ran a full season because I had to split it with my brother, it makes me feel a little bit more confident in my abilities from that.
So your brother's also a racer?
No, he's not raced for a few years now.
Okay. You said when you split it with your brother, that made me curious. So, yeah, that's interesting. And then also going back on the karting thing, I want to jump to your midget career. So started that in 2018 to present, running in the IRS racing series. In 2022, you got the Most Improved Driver award. So talk me through, like, what did you feel like your progression was from the beginning of the season to the end of the season that led you to get that award? How did you feel you progressed the most at?
Definitely the biggest thing is that for this year, pretty much everything I does on dirt. I ran dirt for a few years. Pandemic happened, and that kind of messed with the funding. And of course, if you don't have funding, you don't go racing. And because of that, I kind of spent the past couple of years just kind of taking a ride wherever I could, and I think I did like 2 races total. And then at the beginning of this year, my good friend Ryan Shilkowski actually let me know that he was going to go drive for this car owner, and that he may have another opening, and that I should reach out to him. And so I did, and basically we got everything going, and ended up running about half the schedule this year. And obviously going from dirt to pavement is a pretty big transition. I kind of feel like I sort of started to enjoy the pavement a little bit more than the dirt. I don't know. I need to get back on dirt just to kind of figure out what I really enjoy more.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the first time out, I ended up actually scoring my first podium in a midget.
Oh wow!
Which
nice.
that was a huge confidence boost for me. But we definitely still had a lot of learning that we had to do, and second race out was kind of rough. I definitely struggled with running the car a little bit too hard. I spun out on a couple of occasions, and it was just kind of trying to learn how to take care of your equipment and be there at the end. And we had some good runs throughout the rest of the year. We went to South Bend, where ran top 5 pretty much the whole race, and had a really good battle with couple of other drivers who are generally considered to be some of the best in that series. And so just kind of being able to do that and keep up with these guys was definitely a huge confidence boost. And obviously, seeing the higher confidence is usually better you perform. I don't know, it's just some kind of psychological thing.
Absolutely.
And, yeah, I'll definitely say I think my performance on the smaller tracks probably helped with that. That definitely seemed to be where my strong suit was. And so just kind of being able to pick up all this information from these guys and being able to take that and transfer it over to the track is definitely what helped me with getting that award, which that's probably one of the first awards I won in racing. So that was actually really cool to see.
Well, congratulations. That's a great award. I would say
Thanks.
like most improved. I mean, obviously shows that you put in a lot of work and a lot of effort to get to where you were, and then running half a season, you said, correct?
Yeah, roughly half a season.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So congratulations.
We did like 8 races. So
Awesome.
Yeah,
well,
thank you.
Of course. And going forward, you have the opportunity to run ARCA this year. Talk to me about how that opportunity came about, obviously with Alex Club Racing, and where do you see yourself running in 2023?
So 2023, I guess I can kind of announce some of my plans here while we're doing this. So 2023, I will be back in the midget for the same team owner. I would like to try to run all the races. I don't know. It's just going to depend on how the schedule works out. We're still kind of waiting for those all to be released. I will be back in Brighton Laster's late model, and I will also be running for their CRA street stock, which I'm looking forward to because that's just more big car experience on the pavement. So we'll probably be running that more at like Anderson, maybe Mount Lawn. I don't know what the whole schedule's gonna hold, but we're just kind of gonna play it by ear, see what tracks are running, and see what we can hit up. But I would like to try to run for a midget championship if that's possible. I don't know if it is gonna be, but it's definitely something I would like to try and go for because I feel like we have the potential to do better than we did this year. And we're still kind of looking for funding to maybe do some other races here and there. Like I'm trying to run some Carolina Pro late model races and some ASA CRA events around the Midwest, which that would be something really cool, but we just got to get some additional funding for that to happen. Which I've got an open fender that I put up where fans can actually donate to get their name on the car. It's really just whatever someone wants to donate. We put their name on the car. We also have several sponsorship options in case there's someone with a company who wants to get their name on the car. So if anyone wants to check that out, they can go to openfender.com and just look up Michael Klein. Sorry if that was a bit of self-promo, but I kind of...
No, honestly, this show is all about self-promotion. You do what you got to do. No, that was something I thought was so
we have
unique.
a very... Mason Filippi founded that about a year ago now, I think, maybe 2 years ago. And he's actually been a huge help for me with that, just getting everything set up. And, he's always been very good at trying to help promote me with that. I honestly can't thank him enough for all the help he's been with that. But even if we're not able to do any of those late model stuff, we definitely are still getting some experience with the midget and the dirt late model and the CRA street stock. Like I said, for the art stuff, we are looking at doing Raceway Park, possibly Salem too. I'd like to do that one. That one's also just going to come down to funding, which we've been working really hard at that. At the end of the day, it's just kind of what kind of value can I bring to this company? Because if they don't see any value, they're not gonna hop on. Very few companies are like, you know what, I believe in this kid's dream, so I'm just gonna fork over a few $1,000s. They've got to see the value in it. And so that's kind of what I've been working on over the off season. I've been getting a lot more active on social media, just trying to show people who Michael Klein is, both on and off the track. Because at the end of the day, that's where they're going to see that.
And you do have a new partnership, I believe. It's Better Blend. It's a company based in Kentucky, Ohio. Smoothies, is that correct?
Yes. Yeah. We just did that one. I'm a customer of theirs for a couple of years now. and they announced a sponsorship program that they're doing for several athletes in the area. So I reached out, and fortunately, I think having promoted them before, and customer helped with that, and just a customer also kind of helped. So I ended up getting told that, yeah, you're a part of this. We're still just kind of trying to work out what this is all going to entail. I'm hoping to announce something more with that soon. But right now, it's just kind of a waiting game and seeing what we can do with this.
And then follow-up question to that. I'm a smoothie lover. I have to know your order. What do you usually get?
Okay. So there's a few there that I like. I usually just get very basic strawberry banana. I mean, you can't go wrong with that, I don't think.
No, you cannot.
Yeah, and I usually have the greens in there just because I definitely could get a lot more green in my diet, and it just kind of makes it an easy way to do. Especially where they just mix kale and spinach in it, so it's like, might as well.
Oh, okay.
If I'm getting it after a workout, I'll get a recovery booster in it too. They've also got these bowls, these acai bowls that you get that are also really good.
Yes.
So if you end up ever doing that, if you ever end up doing that, I do highly recommend it.
Yeah, that sounds really good. I'm always looking for like new smoothie ideas. I've been so afraid, Michael, to put greens in my smoothies. I can't do it. It makes me so nervous. But if you
Yeah,
can't
I know. I was a little nervous at first too. But yeah.
And then another thing too, I was looking at your hobbies. You like playing video games.
Oh yeah, huge gamer here.
So what's your favorite game of all time? All time.
Oh, favorite game of all time. Man, that's a tough one. I do have fond memories of the EA NASCAR games. I'm sure as any NASCAR fan does. I recently picked up a PS2 again, and I've just been rebuying pretty much. So that's been fun, just being able to go back and kind of take a nostalgia trip. I don't know. There's also NR 2003. That's obviously a classic among racing fans. I don't know. Outside of racing, I was always a big fan of the Grand Theft Auto series. I just love that open world elements to it. I think that's probably my favorite genre of game. Lately it's been Pokemon, Resident Evil 4. I'm not gonna lie, I have been playing quite a bit too. So
you know what? That's okay. That's totally fine. I've never I tried to play Fortnite once. I'm so bad at it. I tried really hard. I can't do it.
Yeah, I started out really bad too, but I just kept playing it. I honestly played it way too much, and I'm pretty good at it now.
Well, that's good. And then you said Resident Evil. I will say, oh God, I don't know. It's like the first game I watched played. I watched it being played. So I know generally the gist of Resident Evil. It freaks me out, but it's so fun to just see being played in the world. And I've also seen, I think they had some short movies about it too. That I've seen. So
yeah, I don't know.
It's really interesting.
I'm not a huge fan of the franchise, but I did see some gameplay for Resident Evil 4. I figured, this looks fun, and Steam was having a big sale on it, so I'll try it. And so I've kind of been streaming that the past few weeks, which I am a streamer if anyone's interested. So if anyone wants to watch me play games, you can go check out my stream. It's just Michael Klein 10. So yeah, I have started playing that on stream more, and I've honestly really enjoyed it so far.
And what got you into streaming? Was it just you wanted to share, your love of gaming with other people? Was it an iRacing thing? Talk to me about how that started for you.
So I started streaming sort of when the pandemic was starting to kick off, and obviously every race car driver started to do that pretty much. I definitely kind of struggled a little bit at first, just kind of getting the settings right, and I honestly kind of this year, I finally decided, you know what, I need to deliver some value to my sponsors. So if I'm going to be doing a bunch of iRacing, why not just stream it? So I kind of started doing that. I got way better with OBS.
Oh, yeah.
The problem is that my computer is still a little bit on the slower side. I think that's been my main issue lately. So, I'd like to try to fix that, but obviously you kind of have to dump some money into it. So I'm just kind of trying to deal with it for the moment. But I have a lot of fun doing it, especially when people come into my streams just to talk. I love interacting with fans, just being able to talk to people over and share kind of a love over video games and racing. it's definitely a very fun outlet for me.
And with iRacing, I'm curious if you find, I feel like a lot of drivers find pros in it for obvious reasons. Do you find any cons with doing iRacing?
Uh, I'm not sure I would say there's any like cons with the sport itself. Um, Probably the biggest thing I found that it seems like some people think is that, you have guys like Roger Carruth or William Byron who they were able to successfully kind of translate from the sim racing over into real life racing. And I think there's a few drivers who kind of seem to think that, it's a lot easier to go from either the real thing when that's just not the case. I think pretty much any real racer would say that, iRacing is a great tool. I mean, I'm not denying that at all. Just being able to kind of familiarize yourself with tracks, the cars. There's definitely a lot of pros to it, but if you're trying to build an actual career, you rely on it alone. Because I mean, even if you look at like William Byron, he was even running Legends when he really started out with the iRacing. So, it's just kind of this idea that iRacing is a great path are, which for some people, on very rare occasions, it may be, but it's very few and far in between. So that's my one thing I would say. The thing is with iRacing is that a lot of people seem to think it's kind of a substitute for the real thing.
And you said you also, I feel like that's a way of training. You said you also work out a lot. Like, what other training goes into your preparation for getting behind the wheel of the race car?
Yeah, so I'm not gonna lie, I've honestly kind of just started really getting into a better workout routine, just mainly from the kart race, because that was the most physical race I have ever done, and I got out and I have never been so sore in my life.
Oh gosh.
Like, I'm not even joking. Yeah, those road course cars are way more physical than midget, dirt late model, and asphalt late model, any of that. And so that's kind of what really got me into doing more of this workout regimen. So usually what I put into it is I try to do some enduro cardio. Like, I'll get on the bike for maybe 40, 45 minutes, there for like 10 miles. Then sometimes I'll do like a HIIT training or high intensity interval training, which is basically where you do a quick 15-minute workout set, but it's just more intense activities. So it's like the box jumps, the rope whips, medicine ball throws. So a lot of upper body kind of goes into it too. If someone is really trying to get into racing, I highly recommend sort of adopting a better workout routine, because it will.
And do you have somebody like you train with, or have you had people that you've trained with, not even just working out and stuff, but even with the cars? Have you had a mentor kind of walk you through each series, kind of teaching you the tricks of the trade behind the wheel? I mean, obviously Alex Clubb, but was there anyone else besides that as well that has helped you through it?
Yeah. So this actually isn't really my first foray into ARCA. I've been a mechanic for probably about 3 or 4 years now. I started out with Prater, then I moved on to Peterson, but I really kind of found my first real home in ARCA with CCM Racing, which, if you don't know, that's Eric Caudell's team. Eric Caudell has probably been the biggest mentor to me so far when it comes to the ARCA and really just racing in general. He's just so full of wisdom when it comes to the sport, and he's always willing to hunger racers out. So, if I get funding, who knows, maybe I'll run with Eric at some point. But yeah, if I had to say, one mentor at least on the ARCA side, it would be Eric Caudell. As far as like the midget stuff goes, probably Scott Shokuski and Ryan Shokuski have been my big mentors. Scott's raced for almost 30 years now. He retired for a little bit and came back this year. So he's full of wisdom when it comes to the midget stuff. He knows what the sport like. He knows what you can do to make this car better, and he's always willing to share that with the younger racers. Actually, the same night that I won Most Improved, he won Sportsman of the Year, and I honestly can't think of anyone who's more deserving of that than him. They're probably the two biggest mentors I've had as far as racing goes.
And you also mentioned that you were a mechanic in the ARCA garage. I feel like there's a lot of racers that I've seen out there that, maybe don't spend enough time in the garage, or maybe they haven't learned, maybe how to put the car together, how to fix the car. How important is that actually to your career to say, you know what, I can drive the car and I can race the car?
I think it's just kind of being able to, diagnose maybe what's wrong with the car. It's like because if you know what's going on in the car and something's going, I think you'll have a better understanding of what it could be and what needs to be done to fix that. And so for gun racers, I would say that that's going to be a huge benefit to you, is just learn your car, your equipment, know what you need to do to make it go faster.
And then, Michael, before we let you go, I do have one more question, and it revolves around movies. So, racing movies,
Okay.
your favorite of all time. I want to know what it is and why.
Okay. Days of Thunder. All Hey, Days of Thunder.
Yes.
That's honestly probably my favorite movie of all time. Yeah.
Really?
Just because it's like it's a lot more realistic take on than some of these other movies are that are way out in left field. You have Talladega Nights, which is obviously mainly supposed to be a comedy that kind of revolves around NASCAR. Because I think when you think NASCAR movie, everyone's kind of going to think Days of Thunder or Talladega Nights. Honestly, though, if you watch them both, see how anybody can say Talladega Nights is better.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's besides that, also a fan of Stroker Race. I know a lot of people, I know that movie didn't do so well with critics, and a lot of people don't seem to like it, but I enjoyed it. I watched it as a kid and loved it. There's also one that I think flies really under the radar called Six Pack. It actually stars Kenny Rogers.
Okay, yeah.
Great movie. I don't hear that one brought up quite enough, I think, in the racing scene. Which, if anyone hasn't watched it, it's basically about this racer who's trying to come back. He ends up running into a bunch of kids who basically become his traveling road crew. It's a really great movie, and I think the full movie is on YouTube, so anyone who wants to watch it can just look it up.
Okay, that's something I didn't know. I've been trying to watch that movie for a bit. YouTube's where I'm going to find it.
Yeah, I don't know yet. I mean, I think it was. I'm not sure if it's still on there. Ooh. I don't know if the copyright.
Later, I'm going to try to find it.
Down.
Oh, that's true.
All right.
Well, yeah. Michael, it has been a joy having you on the show. Thank you so much for talking to us about your experience, and I hope for the best for you in 2023.
Thank you.
Awesome. Have a good night.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. And great. Thanks, you too.
Thank you so much. All right. Thank you again to Michael for being on the show. It was great to have him on. Obviously, like I said, hope for the best for him going into 2023. I think I said 2022. My brain's still in 2022 mode, you guys. I'm not ready to move on into the next year. But yeah, really, really interesting stuff. I always love talking about like racing movies and video games and everything like that with the drivers that come on, and just even him being from like Kentucky and doing racing in Ohio and everything could relate on that too. Had some great mentors along the way. So yeah, I figured to close things out for tonight, perhaps we would do a tier list. And because it's the holidays, you guys, I figured we'd do one that is holiday themed. Given that the Wi-Fi works in our favor, either we do board games or we do food. I say we do food. Let's do food. Let me get the tier list up and running. But yeah, that was really cool to hear from Michael. We'll have to have him back on maybe later next year, kind of see his progression. I liked hearing about his karting career as well. It's something that's very new to me, learning, the karting side of racing and the midget racing. And I'm so tuned in on like the late model and everything. So it was really interesting to hear his perspective from that as well. Let's see. Holiday food tier list. Let's find one. Okay, so there's like only a few items on here that we're going to do. Let me make sure that it is on the screen for you all. And then if you guys in the chat, you want to play along, go for it. Let's see. share screen. There we go. All right, let's make this a little bit smaller. Okay, so here's what we've got, folks. Okay, so, oh, I don't want to do that. You guys, there we go. I'll do this. That's actually a lot better. So it looks like we have on the menu today rolls, deviled eggs, ham. I think that's mac and cheese. I need my glasses. I can't see this, you guys. Holy ow. Okay, I don't know if that helps or not. And then it looks like, okay, hold on, but that looks like, I'm struggling. This looks like mac and cheese as well. So we're gonna figure out what that is. If you guys in the comments know what it is, let me know, or else I'm just gonna count it as mac and cheese twice. Turkey, obviously. This all looks like mac and cheese. We're finding a different list, guys. It all it all looks like mac and cheese. I can't have like a whole thing of mac and cheese. Otherwise, I would rank everything like at an S tier. I would just do that. Let's see. And if this one doesn't suffice, we'll go to board games right away. Okay, no, this one's more manageable. Though this list does not have things that make sense at all in it. So, we're still going to do it. Why not? All right, let's share screen. Let's go to this one. This one I like a lot better. There we go. Alrighty, let's go to presentation mode. Cool. Okay. Here's where I have issues with this tier list, you guys. There's a hamburger in here. I don't know if I would consider that like holiday food or not. I really don't know. There we are. All right, so we'll go through this pretty quickly. So let's see. Hamburger. I don't think it's a holiday food since it's like a holiday tier list. I'm just already going to put that at a D. I'm sorry. It's really not. I could say the same for the hot dog over here. I don't like it. Let's see. Oh, apple cider, that's an S tier for me. If we're looking at like specifically like Christmas, maybe not, but I would like say like it fits like the holiday type vibes, you know. So I put that at an S tier for sure. Oh, what's next? This, I think that's gravy. I like gravy. I think it's pretty good. It's not like my favorite though. Like I could go without it, but I'll put it at like a B. I think that's fine. Candy canes. I don't know about you all. I know some of you might like if you celebrate Christmas, decorate your tree with candy canes. My boyfriend's mom decorated her tree, and they had like all different flavored candy canes on it, and it looks so cute. For me though, I like mints, but not necessarily like candy canes. If you do go to Wendy's though, they have like a candy cane frosty. I don't know how long it's going to be out after the holiday season, but it's to die for. It is so good. You all know me and my fast food. But candy canes though, I got to give a D as well, unfortunately. I'm not even going to argue with this cranberry sauce. It's also going to get a D. I don't like it. Brian, hello from Southern Cali. What is up? If you're just joining us, we just talked to Michael Klein, fantastic guest on the show. Talked about his racing career from karts to midgets to what his plans are for 2023. And now we're doing a tier list to round out ATYL's 2022 season. All right, so if you have suggestions of where things should go in this tier list, let me know. But this is my ranking so far. S tier is the apple cider, you guys. Hot apple cider, cold apple cider, it's fantastic. B, gravy, and then everything down here. Burgers, hot dogs are not holiday food. I'm sorry, they're not. Candy canes and cranberry sauce. I'm gonna be controversial here. I like Brussels sprouts. I do. I'm one of those I'm one of those weird people that really likes Brussels sprouts. So I'm gonna put them at a B. They're really good if you like put them in the oven, salt and pepper, and then like balsamic glaze. Highly recommend that if you just do not like. And then if you don't like balsamic glaze, then you're out of luck. But I'd put that there. Oh, eggnog. That's if I could create a whole different tier for not even remotely acceptable on this list, I'd put eggnog. I'm sorry, you guys. I do not like it. I think it's so gross. Let's see. Deviled eggs, I like them. Like they get an A. Fruitcake, I don't actually think I've ever had fruitcake. So I'm gonna put this in the D category, though I feel harshly to judge it that way. Green beans, A. Gingerbread, I don't know if I've actually ever eaten like gingerbread like this. I've made gingerbread houses. But eating it though is a different story. I feel like I've had like gingerbread like cookies before, but not like a gingerbread man. So I don't know. What is? I don't even know what this is. Is that I think that's casserole or something. I'm just gonna let me know in the comments if you know what that is. If you don't, that's okay. I don't know what it is either. Steak, I don't really see that as a holiday food, so I'm inclined to put it at an A. If it was like completely holiday, I put it at an S tier. But I'm gonna put it at an A. Ham, I personally don't like. See, I know the ATYL crew at home right now is probably just like, Taylor, you're ruining this list. I'm sure they all have different opinions on this. Mashed potatoes, I gotta give an A. Pumpkin pie, I don't like. I'm sorry, I don't like pumpkin pie. I don't like it. So, yeah, D. These are rolls. Rolls are like, oh, what comparison do I make here? It's like first day of school. What do you need? You need your backpack. You need your lunchbox. It's like the accessories to your first day of school is what these rolls are. Horrible analogy there, but more so they're a necessity to any holiday meal is what I should have said. For that, they have an S tier status. Now, there's a few rolls that I like. One, Bob Evans rolls. They're fantastic. Two, Sister Schubert rolls. Not a sponsor, but they're fantastic. I highly recommend that. Same thing goes for stuffing. For me, it's a staple. It's S tier. I love it. I'll even make it just from the box, or I've tried to make it from scratch before, and have it like during the summer or something like that. Like that's how good stuffing is. Sweet potato casserole, highly underrated. It is fantastic. Gotta give that an A. And then turkey, that's an A as well. I gotta give that an A. So, holiday food rankings to close out our last activity of the 2022 ATYL season. S tier, we got apple cider, rolls, stuffing. A, we have deviled eggs, turkey, sweet potato casserole. Then we have green beans, steak, and mashed potatoes. B tier, we have gravy, Brussels sprouts, gingerbread man. I don't know why that left my mind for a second. Ham, and then in the D category, we have burgers, hot dogs. They're not holiday food. Candy cane, cranberry sauce, eggnog, fruitcake, whatever this is. So that'll probably go at the end. I think that's a green bean casserole. Regardless if it is, it goes down here. And then a pumpkin pie. Maybe not the absolute favorites from the holidays, but they're a necessity. So while the rest of you are here, I feel like I should close out 2022 by talking about some 2023 plans, and also by just saying thank you to all of you first off. But yeah, so 2023, what can you expect from ATYL in 2023 and TobyChristie.com? Well, what I can say for above the line is we are very excited to kick off the 2023 season with a new format for our live streams. We'll have content every single week from us here. We're still finalizing some of the content matter, but I'm very excited to give you guys some new content besides the recaps and the previews. So be on the lookout for that. Giveaways, obviously, I love doing giveaways, so be on the lookout for that as well. More interviews from more people in the industry. I know this off season we were hoping to get to more, and we might. It just goes with scheduling, and everyone's schedules during the holidays is crazy. So we're hoping to have some more interviews during the off season, but even then, into 2023. The ATYL crew will be back. I miss them dearly tonight. So they'll be back in 2023 as well. I don't know what else I can tease right now about the channel for ATYL, what we're doing. Races, obviously, I think Mid-Ohio is an absolute. I will be there covering that race. If everything goes according to plan, the 600, I will be there. Let's see, what else? Eldora, I would love to cover that race. That's a goal of mine for 2023 is to go there and cover the SRX race. I love that series since it started 2 years ago. We're going on the third year. Thursday Night Thunder bringing it back. So I'm very excited to kind of feel that nostalgia a little bit that I really didn't grow up feeling because joining, the motorsports scene only a few years ago. So kind of having that history knowledge in my brain, appreciating the Thursday night racing just a little bit more from that perspective. Other races, though, I don't know. It's totally up in the air, but I'm very excited to go into 2023 with an open mind and ready to go. I graduate college finally in the spring. And after that, I don't know where the journey is going to take me, but I've had a blast going on the journey that 2022 has taken me on. I'm joining TobyChristie.com, meeting more of the ATYL crew, meeting some of you guys too at the tracks has been fantastic. So, before we close it out for the evening, I want to thank you all so much for your support this year, not only for myself, but for TobyChristie.com and the Above the Yellow Line and Toby Christie crew. It's been greatly appreciated. Our channels have grown substantially. It's because of you all and your interactions, and we greatly appreciate you for sticking around with us and following our top-notch NASCAR and motorsports coverage. So yeah, it's been crazy. Just everything that's happened this year. And yeah, curious though, I'll probably make a predictions video to start maybe a week or two before the NASCAR season officially begins. I made one for this season that I guess last season at this point, the 2022 season, I made a predictions video for, and I did all right. I would give myself like a 75, 80%, like a solid B rating for how well I did. So I'm excited to go into this year, make another predictions list and see if I can hang on to that grade. If not, maybe I'll probably slip a little bit, but we thought, anything was possible going into 2022, the NASCAR season. And even though we said anything was possible, we were left like jaws on the floor, seeing the impossible every single weekend with crazy moves, record number of winners and everything like that. So hopefully 2023 brings us fantastic racing, more crazy moments, but also really good racing as well across all motorsports series. But you guys, we're going to close it out. Happy holidays, happy new year, and I'll see you all in 2023. That's wild. All right. Bye, you guys.